If you've been feeling a strange, heavy fatigue that seems to drain your strength, be careful. This might have nothing to do with lack of sleep or being busy. This exhaustion could actually be a direct warning from the universe, a spiritual sign you should never ignore. The harsh truth is this: while you believe you're simply tired, your energy may be getting drained by invisible forces, blocking your prosperity, your inner peace, and even your true purpose in life. And here's the shock: resting your body won't fix it, because the root of this fatigue is not physical, it lies in the unseen. But there is a way out. Those who discover it turn exhaustion into enlightenment, open portals of abundance, and awaken to a completely different life. Stay with me until the very end, because today you'll understand what's really happening to you and how to turn this game in your favor. Many people believe fatigue is only physical, but the truth is that it carries hidden messages. When you feel that weight that not even a full night's sleep can heal, you can be certain the universe is trying to speak to you. This weariness, often accompanied by anxiety or insomnia, is a sign that your spiritual energy needs attention. And if you ignore it, it can grow into an even greater blockage, pulling you away from inner peace and balance. Think about how many times you've woken up more tired than when you went to sleep. That happens because the body rests, but the mind keeps racing through 1,000 thoughts. It's like being trapped in a wheel that never stops turning. Spirituality teaches us that this state is an alert for awakening, an invitation to dive into the journey of inner healing. A simple breathing exercise before bed can already be the beginning of transformation. Now, imagine invisible cords attached to you, draining your life force. They could be toxic relationships, limiting beliefs, or even objects in your home carrying dense energy. Energy cleansing helps cut these ties. A practical example is a sea salt bath, followed by herbs like rosemary or lavender. The first purifies, the second harmonizes. This simple ritual can shift the entire vibration of your home and your mind. But healing also involves unblocking the chakras. The heart chakra, for example, when overloaded, generates feelings of anguish and hopelessness. The crown chakra, when closed, disconnects us from spirituality and abundance. Guided meditations for each chakra are available on countless platforms. Listening to one before bed can be a turning point in your spiritual journey. Here's something important. Fatigue is not always your enemy. It's like a persistent friend knocking on your door to warn you you're living out of balance. When you learn to listen, you discover exhaustion is an invitation to expand consciousness. Instead of resisting, accept it as a blessing. Faith and gratitude become powerful tools for transformation. To apply this in daily life, here's a simple example. Instead of coming home and scrolling endlessly on your phone, dedicate 15 minutes to a practice of co-creation with the universe. Visualize your spiritual life in harmony, prosperity flowing, your body light, your mind at peace. The power of the mind can manifest this reality. All it takes is the first step. When you feel constant fatigue, it may not only be physical wear and tear, but also the reflection of a life out of tune with spiritual laws. The universe operates on principles that never fail, and when we don't vibrate in alignment with them, everything feels heavier. Financial stagnation, lack of fulfillment, and even that emptiness of being stuck are clear signs that your energy is misaligned with the law of attraction. One of the greatest secrets is understanding that manifestation doesn't begin with wanting, but with being. If you want prosperity, you must vibrate prosperity even before you have money in your pocket. A simple practice is to write down 3 things you are grateful for every day. This immediately shifts your frequency because gratitude is the fastest bridge between scarcity and abundance. Those who keep this habit notice, within weeks, how new opportunities start appearing. Another practical example is the use of Grabovoi codes, known by many as numerical keys for financial unlocking and abundance. They work because they direct the mind towards specific vibrational patterns. Imagine using the code 5207418 to attract unexpected money. By repeating it with faith, you are reprogramming your success mindset and co-creating with the universe. Of course, it's not instant magic, but a powerful tool to align intention and action. Beyond that, we must understand the law of vibration. Everything is energy, and everything vibrates at a certain frequency. If you constantly complain about fatigue, you will attract more situations that reinforce that feeling. On the other hand, if you transform this fatigue into fuel for spiritual awakening, you begin to emit a vibration of hope and abundance. It's like changing the radio station. The frequency shifts, and so does the music of your life. It's important to remember that manifestation is not limited to money. Many long for true love, health, and inner peace. When you vibrate prosperity in all areas, you realize that inner wealth is even more important than your bank balance. A heart in balance attracts blessings in unexpected ways. Have you noticed how enlightened people seem to be lucky in everything? It's not luck, it's alignment with universal laws. So, when fatigue hits, instead of getting upset, see it as a warning. You are not manifesting in the flow of the universe. Use this signal to adjust thoughts, words, and actions. The power of the mind is infinite, and when placed in harmony with the universe, it completely transforms reality. And if there is something even deeper that can help in this process, it is the ancestral wisdom that carries hidden secrets for thousands of years. This fatigue you feel may be connected to something beyond modern life. Our ancestors already knew that body and soul are interconnected, and that lack of energy could result from disconnection from ancestral spirituality. Today, we call it existential emptiness, but in the past, it was understood as a lack of connection with the guardian spirit, the earth's energy, and the archetypes that shape life. A powerful example is the shamanic practice of discovering your power animal. Many exhausted people report feeling reborn when connecting with this spiritual force. Imagine someone who discovers the wolf as their power animal. They begin to feel courage, protective instinct, and clarity on their path. This connection strengthens not only spiritual life, but also confidence in their life purpose. Another point is spiritual astrology. Unlike common astrology, it doesn't focus only on predictions, but on the map of the soul. Many times, fatigue comes from the feeling of being outside one's destiny. Knowing your spiritual natal chart helps align decisions about career, relationships, and even daily habits. When someone understands their dominant archetype, they begin to live in greater harmony, leaving stagnation energy behind. And we cannot forget ancestral purification rituals. From herbal baths to sacred dances, these rituals aim to unblock accumulated spiritual energy. Today, you can adapt this in practical ways, dancing for 10 minutes to shamanic drumming or lighting sage incense for energy cleansing. These seemingly simple gestures carry centuries of wisdom. The most interesting part is realizing how these ancestral practices are aligned with spiritual laws. What we call the law of attraction was already understood by the ancients as energetic reciprocity. What you give to the world comes back multiplied. If you offer gratitude, you receive abundance. If you offer fear, you receive scarcity. It's ancient wisdom translated into modern language. This dive into spiritual roots shows that fatigue is not only physical or mental, but often spiritual. It may be the call of your ancestry, asking for reconnection. And this reconnection naturally leads to the next level, looking within yourself to self-knowledge that frees you from the prison of the mind. Often, the heaviest weight we carry is not on our shoulders, but in our thoughts. Constant self-criticism, the feeling of never being enough, all of this feeds a cycle of invisible exhaustion. It's like being trapped in a prison without bars, where the jailer is the mind itself. This is one of the biggest reasons why fatigue persists, the lack of spiritual self-awareness. The good news is that there is a key to escape this prison, realizing that the mind is not you. You are the consciousness that observes the thoughts, not the thoughts themselves. A practical exercise is cognitive diffusion. When a negative thought arises, instead of identifying with it, say mentally, "I'm having the thought that I'm incapable." This creates space between you and the mind, and that space is freedom. Another powerful practice is guided meditation for expanding consciousness. Imagine dedicating 10 minutes a day just to observe your breath and your thoughts without judging them. Over time, you discover it is possible to silence the mind and experience moments of enlightenment and inner peace. This spiritual awakening doesn't happen all at once, but like a muscle, it strengthens with practice. Moreover, self-knowledge grows stronger when you write. Yes, write. A spiritual journal where you record emotions, dreams, and reflections can reveal hidden patterns. Many people, when rereading their own words, discover the blockages that kept them tired and hopeless. Writing is like a mirror of the soul, revealing what consciousness has not yet seen. It's worth remembering that elevated consciousness doesn't mean the absence of problems, but the ability to deal with them in balance and harmony. When you awaken to this truth, you understand that fatigue was only a signal that you were looking outward too much and forgetting to look inward. It's an invitation to align your spiritual energy and walk toward enlightenment. And when this level of clarity is reached, practical life transforms. Relationships change, money begins to flow, and life purpose reveals itself in surprising ways. And this is exactly the next step of the journey, applying spirituality to everyday life in concrete ways. What's the use of seeking expanded consciousness if it doesn't reflect in daily life? True spirituality is not an escape, but practical application. The fatigue many people feel comes from the disconnection between spiritual life and material life. When there is harmony between the two, life flows with lightness, and even challenges become disguised blessings. A clear example is relationships. How many people feel drained because they live in toxic cycles? Applied spirituality teaches that we attract what we vibrate. If you want conscious love, you must first develop self-love. A useful practice is writing daily affirmations such as, "I am worthy of true love." This co-creation opens space for relationships aligned with your purpose. Another point is financial prosperity. Many believe that spirituality and money don't go together, but that's a limiting belief. Money is energy, and when used consciously, it's a tool to manifest abundance and help others. Identifying hidden beliefs about inner wealth is fundamental. A good exercise is listing phrases you heard about money in childhood and replacing them with positive affirmations. And of course, there is also life purpose. How many people feel tired simply because they work at something they don't love? Discovering the mission of your soul is like finding the key that unlocks unlimited energy. Ask yourself, what would I do for free, even if there was no financial reward? The answer may reveal hidden talents ready to flourish. Practical spirituality also involves small habits. Waking up and giving thanks before even looking at your phone, spending a few minutes meditating, treating your body as the temple of the soul. These are simple attitudes that generate transformation. When put into practice, they open the way for prosperity, abundance, and balance in all areas of life. And then we realize fatigue is not lack of energy, but lack of alignment. When you live your mission, love your relationships, and prosper with consciousness, life no longer feels heavy. And if there is still a point that causes fear in many, the mystery of death and what lies beyond, it is at this moment that spirituality brings the most surprising answers. One of humanity's greatest fears is the unknown. Deep fatigue, in many cases, comes with existential emptiness and fear of death. But what spirituality teaches is that this fear is, in fact, the reflection of disconnection from life's mysteries. When we learn to understand the beyond, exhaustion turns into curiosity and expanded consciousness. Many people have reported near-death experiences where they felt peace, light, and unconditional love. These accounts are reminders that life doesn't end here. And when we carry this understanding, spiritual life gains new meaning. The weight of daily worries becomes smaller as we understand there is an eternity beyond the now. Another powerful practice is astral projection. Yes, it is possible to leave the body consciously and explore other planes of existence. Techniques such as lying down in deep relaxation and visualizing yourself floating can induce remarkable experiences. Many who practice report an indescribable feeling of freedom and connection with the universe. In addition, lucid dreams work as spiritual portals. By training your mind to recognize that you are dreaming, you gain access to symbolic worlds that reveal hidden messages. Imagine receiving in a dream a clear piece of advice about your practical life. This is more common than you think. It is spirituality manifesting itself directly in daily life. Mystery, therefore, is not something to fear but to explore. By understanding spiritual signs in dreams, synchronicities, or intuitions, you realize that you are never alone. The universe speaks constantly, including through the fatigue that pushes you to seek something beyond. This connection generates inner peace, balance, and a new way of living. And at the end of this journey, we realize fatigue was not only physical, but a spiritual calling, an invitation to awaken, to reconnect with spiritual laws, with your ancestry, with your purpose, and with the mysteries beyond. True enlightenment arises when you accept this calling and begin walking with faith, gratitude, and harmony. Now tell me, are you going to keep treating this fatigue as something normal? Or are you going to face it as the sign the universe is sending you to change your life? Have you noticed how many opportunities may be blocked simply because your energy is out of balance? And what if I told you that this weight you feel could be the very key to your spiritual awakening, to your prosperity, and to the expansion of your consciousness? Think carefully. What will you choose from today on? To remain trapped in exhaustion, or to start co-creating a new reality with the universe? The decision is yours alone. But remember, every awakening begins with a single step. And that step can be taken right now by applying the teachings I've shared with you here. And if you want to keep receiving practices, reflections, and spiritual secrets that can transform your life, you already know what to do. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and stay tuned, because in the next videos, I'll reveal even deeper truths about spirituality, the law of attraction, and the power of the mind. After all, your journey is just beginning.